इतने दूर क्यों बैठे हो आप? It's like really hard. I'm very lazy. Should be like this. इतने इससे ज़्यादा नजर नहीं घुमानी चाहिए. Should be like this. Come in the middle somewhere. Okay, Deep, how are you? I'm good, thank you. कैसे हो गुरजीत? I forgot your name, sorry. Pallavi, how are you, Pallavi? Yeah. Okay, guys, welcome to Emdad's Grammar, everyone. And for those people who have other branches as well, and those people who have joined us online, we are a language institute, Emdad's BT and IELTS, situated in Melbourne, Australia. The purpose of these free grammar sessions is just for your benefit. We don't make it too complicated, and we don't try to make it sound very daunting, because the grammar is very, very boring. But if it is made fun, given with real life examples and everything, you understand it more, particularly those examples which are related to marriage and PR. Yeah, you understand more. Those the stupid examples, the silly examples, those childish examples help you understand these grammar rules more, compared to it is registered in your head, rather than just giving you complicated examples. So that's our target for next 50 minutes, to help you understand some important grammar rules that you'll be tested with in your PT reading section, as well as it'll be beneficial for your writing. Now, those people who are coming to the class, please do ask me questions. Feel free if you have any issues during this grammar session, because once it goes live, it's out there in that grammar page. If you have any difficulties, there's nobody there to help you with those explanations. So it's a good idea. So if you have got any doubts, please ask me to stop there and repeat something that you don't understand. I have some new faces in the class. Well, not new. I have Ramya. Yeah, Ramya. Jasdeep, I've seen you before, but it's been a while. Yeah, after a gap. I'm seeing you for the first time. Yeah. Jatin, is this your day one with us? Day one, yeah. Day two. Okay, all right. You come to weekends. All right, Jatin. Okay, guys, let's come to our first grammar rule here. So everybody, pay attention. How many of you remember your first experience when you came to? How long have you been in Australia, Deep? 5 years. 5 year kya hai? 5 years. 5 years. Jatin, how about you? 3 years. Anyone who has been here for less than 2 years or something like this? 1 year. How do you find Australia? Is it better than India? It's too cold, isn't it? Nowadays. Yeah. Ramya, how about you? How long? Same like the same, yeah, just like India. What about you? 6 months? 6 months? Wow. Don't you feel like going back to India? Yeah? Okay. You will never feel like going back to India after, give it like 4 or 5 years, but you'll never ever feel like going back to India. Okay. So let's suppose, okay, let's suppose, for example, your friend is a newbie, like coming to Australia and Melbourne for the first time, and he's inexperienced, very naive. Do you know this word, naive? N-A-I-V-E, naive? Naive is a common word, N-A-I-V. So naive means somebody who has got absolutely no experience at all. I'm very naive, very inexperienced. So he's coming to Melbourne for the first time, yeah? So if I write a sentence, and the sentence is like this, yeah? Let's write it here. My friend now tell me, guys, very simple. What is the answer here? Suppose you're in Melbourne, yeah? Okay, let's make it a poll, so very easy for us. How many of you think the answer is in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many think the answer is at? तो बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? What about others? If it is, what are you supporting? Are you supporting it should be arrive in? Or are you supporting? Or are you thinking it should be arrive at?
Arrive at Melbourne.
Okay.
Arrive in Melbourne.
Okay. How about this? So you're confusing me too. How about this? If I write a sentence, we say something like this. Thankfully, I was waiting for this thing. I was driving the car. Too much traffic, but now I'm. Tell me, what is the answer? I arrived in the bank or I arrived at the bank? At the bank. How many of you think it's at the bank? How many think it is in the bank? Jatin? Okay, all right. This is something very easy, and you will remember this for the rest of your life. This particular rule. Arrive के साथ collocation. No? The collocation with the word arrive. If it is like, so let's write it here. If you see any of those, yeah, what did I put here? Yeah, city, state, or a country. Let's put it. Put them in the block letters. City, state, or a country, you will always use in. Arrive in as a collocation. Is it clear? India. My friend arrived in India. Mumbai. My father will arrive in Mumbai. Yeah. City. Yeah. City could be anything. For example, Sydney. Yeah. He arrived in Sydney last night. Something like this. So any of these three things, city, state, or a country, what is the collocation here? Arrive. So with arrive, you will always use in. Is it clear? Did you understand this thing? Arrive in for all those city, state, or a country. Now, suppose I ask this question to Akshay. Akshay, tell me, Canada. My parents will arrive at Canada, in Canada. In Canada, of course. How easy is this? I forgot your name, sorry. Harpreet, yeah? So something like this. Harpreet, tell me, what if I, now this question is to you, what if I change these two? Tell me, how would you answer this one? Number one.
My friend arrived at Melbourne.
Yeah? My friend arrived at Melbourne Airport, because this time Melbourne Airport is not a city, it's not a state, it's not a country. It's an airport. So in this particular case scenario, you will not use in. Very easy. How easy is this? So we are going to remove in here. So the sentence would be, my friend arrived at the Melbourne Airport. Easy peasy, yeah? Is it clear? Okay. Now, how about number two? I arrived in the bank or I arrived at the bank? I arrived in the bank. Thank you very much. We finished with this session, guys. अबे चिल्ला चिल्ला के मैंने बोला. It should be I arrived at the bank. I arrived at the bank. So in is, let me make it a little bit more simpler so that so for this you will use arrive in. Is it clear? Any other place? How about swimming pool? Yeah. Arrive in, arrive at. Arrive at. How about polling booth? Arrive in, arrive at. Arrive at. How about bus station? Arrive at. Yeah. Any other place? How about bank? Arrive at. How about airport? Arrive at. Classroom. Arrived at. Yeah. Something like this. But if it is a city, state, or country, you will use in. Now, if you have understood it, just raise your hands. Ramya, this question is for you. Tell me what is the answer here. मेरी तरफ देखो, आने वाला आएगा, जाने वाला जाएगा. जाने वाले कौन रोक सकता है? Look at me. Tell me, Ramya, what is the answer here? We just did this rule, didn't we? We shouldn't get it wrong. Bolo? I arrived at or in? In or at? At, because it's not a city, state, or a country. So the answer should be I arrived at my friend's house. How easy is this? How about if I not talking about my friend's house, I remove something like this. Now you tell me, and I write a sentence which says something like this. What should be the answer? I forgot your name, sorry. Keshav. Keshav. Okay, I see you on and off in the class. Yeah. Keshav, tell me, what is the answer here? Is it a city? Is it a state? Or is it a country? Home. This is not a state or a country. So the answer should be I arrived at home. But this is where you have to learn this too. Here, this is an exception. You will not use any preposition. I arrived home last night. So you first rule, so in and at, you know, at for any other place, in for city, state, or a country. But when you're talking about your home, you will not use any preposition. Is it clear? So no preposition. I arrived home last night. But the criteria is it has to be your own home. But if you say your friends, your cousins, your parents, your mothers, you have to use at. How tricky is this? But this is how entire English grammar thing is. So did you learn this? So 3 rules we learned here. Arrived in, arrived at, and arrived with no preposition at all. Can you write all of 3, please? Everyone, please copy all the 3. So this is an exception. So let's write it. Own home, own house. Exception and no preposition required. So never ever make a mistake with this particular rule, guys. Arrived. Okay. Now, how many of you, now pay attention everyone, how many of you, now this is the way we talk, we started talking in the class, और बात जो हमने शुरू ही की थी class में. We started with this thing when we said that your friend, he came to Australia at the Melbourne airport, so now he arrived at the Melbourne airport. So, looks okay. Now, do you think that this particular person will be immediately accustomed to this culture, or he will be adjusted? Yes, of course, gradually. Nobody adjusts like this, Initially, you get homesick, you feel like if you don't have any job or anything, you're still sitting at home, you feel like those walls are talking to you, Everybody has gone through this phase, when you come to Australia, and particularly Australia, it's like land of zombies, What can you do? Sorry, guys, I have to open the fast. Just give me 1 second. Do you know that when fasting happens in winters in Australia, it's very easy compared to if I fasted in India, because we have to fast from sunrise to sunset. But India, that daylight is like large, huge compared to how we have here in Australia. So only 12 hours of fast here. So before you even know it, you open. But in India, it's really, really hard, a struggle. But slowly this cycle changes. When fasting will happen here in summers, then we'll move to India for that month. Yes. What can you do? All right, I shouldn't say this online. Okay, so if I write a sentence which says something like this, it says, I need... So my friend could be anything. Deep, suppose tum ho, yeah? Deep, you're my friend, and you came to Australia last month. So Deep needs to adapt the new culture, yeah? It's not culture, it is Culture. Yeah, now tell me, Deep needs to adapt the new culture. Deep, since तुम नए आए हो मेलबर्न में, तुम ही बताओ मुझे, what is the mistake here in this sentence? I'll be really glad if Deep comes up with it. Adopt the new culture. No, don't change anything. Just tell me what is the mistake here. Now, Gurjeet है ना? Gurvinder, sorry. Gurvinder, बताओ. You know, there are two words. One is adapt and one is adopt, A and O, yeah? But both of them are different to each other. Adapt is one thing and adopt is another thing. Just say debit and debt. Do you know the difference between these two, debit and debt? So debit is credit and debit. So debit is something is coming out of your account. Credit is something being added to your account. Accounting people, they already know it. But when you say debt, D-E-B-T, you never pronounce it as debit. You always say debt, D-E-B-T, debt. D-E-B-T, debt, be silent, but debt is कर्जा. मैं बहुत कर्जे में फंसा, so I'm under a lot of debt. D-E-T, debt. So debt and debit, two different things. Similarly, adopt and adapt. Yeah? Now the rule for this one is whenever you see adapt, not adopt, adapt, A-D-A-P-T, adapt, it must be followed by to all the time. How easy is this? Yeah? Adapt to something. This is how we remember this rule. Adapt to something. And I want you guys to write it exactly as it is. Adapt to something. So adapt to new culture, adapt to new strategy, adapt to new listening summary. Yeah. So adapt to. The Deep needs to adapt to the new culture. Is it clear? So adapt means being familiar with. Yeah. So being familiar with, being accustomed to. That's called adapt. Yeah. Just say, for example, when you go to Ladakh. So I come from north in northern India. So from Ladakh, you must have heard of Ladakh. Yeah, people who are in India. Yeah. So some people, they don't know what is Ladakh. You know what is Ladakh? Where are you from back home? You're from Nepal. You should know Ladakh. Ladakh is close proximity. So it's like the higher altitude. Yeah. So if you are going to Ladakh and you're driving or you're riding a bike and you go through that mountainous pass and everything, it's going to be really hard for you to breathe for the very first time. You can suffocate, or you can even choke, and you can even spill blood out of your nose. Why? Because the sea level is high. So it's above sea level. So many meters above sea level. The very first instance. But then when you go twice, thrice, something like this, you can this climate, you can adapt this climate, or you can adapt to this climate. You can adapt to this new climate. Easy peasy, yeah? How about if I write something like this here? I write something like this, yeah? Yeah. Let's adopt to a new. Let's adopt to a new culture. How about this? How about this? If I change adapt to adopt, do you know what happens this time? Batao Akshay? There's no to. How easy is this? So adopt, you don't require any preposition, but adapt, preposition is a must. Is it clear? So if I write adopt to a new culture, this sentence will be 100% wrong. It should be, bolo, correct it. Let's adapt a new culture. Let's adopt a new culture. Something like this, yeah? So can you copy both of them, please? Let's adopt. So adopt something, adapt to something. So I think that's the correct way of memorizing it. Adapt something, adapt to something, and adopt something. Okay, so never ever make a mistake with this one. Adapt a new strategy, right or wrong? Adapt to, yeah. Adopt a new strategy, right or wrong? Correct, yeah. So let me ask this question to Dhiren. Dhiren, बताओ मुझे. New weather, yeah. So Melbourne weather. So I have adapted the new weather in Melbourne, right or wrong? I have adapted. I have adapted rainy weather in Melbourne, right or wrong? Adapted. Right or wrong? Tell me. Wrong. It should be I have adapted to. Adapt to something. मतलब तुमने लिखा नहीं है इसको. You have to write it exactly as it is. Adapt to something. Adopt something. How is this? Adopt something. Adapt to something. Scientists have adapted new methods. Right or wrong? Adapted to new. Scientists have adopted a new method. Scientists have adopted a new strategy. Is it clear? Something like that. Very easy, guys. It's no confusion here. So don't confuse yourselves. Okay, let me write a sentence now. Now let's come to number 3 and let's ask this question to a particular student rather than making it general. So let me ask this to, wow, look who is here. It's been a while. Tum rasta to nahi bhul gaya. Ah, okay, all right. Just take a seat. We're doing grammar. Yeah. Okay, so always feel good to see some students. We develop intimacy. It's good that way. Okay, guys, so let me write a sentence here. Tell me what do you think, what is a mistake in this sentence, yeah? Like it happens in every grammar session, you know? Let me ask this question to Pallavi. Pallavi is going to help us and pick a mistake. Well, there's no mistake. You have to solve it. It's either one of these two. Think and tell me. Don't quickly come up with the answer. Except me. Me. Okay. How many of you agree with Pallavi? It should be except me. Rest of you disagree, yeah? Or rest of you are not sure whether we should agree or disagree, yeah? इसमें सोचने वाली बात नहीं. What do you think? Well, I forgot your name. Harpreet, what do you think? Except I. Everyone except I is attentive. This is where you need to understand this rule. The rule is very simple. Whenever you have a preposition in the sentence, preposition क्या है? Preposition can be anything. For, from, become, got, yeah, over, under, yeah. So preposition, any preposition, on, in, to. So any preposition you have in a sentence, immediately after a preposition, you can never ever under any circumstances put a subject. You will always have an object. Yeah. So something like this. He bought roses, or she bought roses for, I forgot your name, sorry. Huh? Vinod. So she bought roses for he or for him? For him. Him kya? Him is an object and for is a preposition. Yeah? There's no doubt about it. So for example, Gurvinder, yeah. So bol sakte hain something like this. You can say are you coming from Melbourne to talk to I or to talk to me? To talk to me. Talk to I. Nah, talk to me. Except, do you know why did you get it wrong? Because of the word except. And you never knew except is a preposition. Except is a preposition. And except ke baad, you will always put a subject or object? Object. How easy is this? So you can, do you know the subject? I want all of you to write these. Write these subject forms and object forms. So subject forms, so that you never ever make a mistake here. So it's very simple grammar, guys. Don't make a mistake. Subject forms are I, yeah, we, yeah, tell me, he, she, yeah, they, it, yeah. So subject form. And what is the object form? Whether I, me, we, us, he, him, her, she, her, yeah, they, them, and it. And same rule applies to you. So you can be used as both subject and you can be also used as both object. Is it clear? So subject and object. So what form would I put after preposition? So let's write it here. After preposition, use the following. Something like this. Is it clear? Let's bold it. How easy is this? So nobody except me. Nobody. How about this? Nobody except you was present. Right or wrong? Of course, right, because it can be acted, it can be used as both subject as well as object. You are great. You क्या है यहाँ पे? Subject. I like you. What is you here? Object. So it can be used as both subject and object. Yeah. So something like this. Did you understand this one? Yeah. So no mistakes here, guys. Now let's come to an important. Oh, I love this rule, guys. You will enjoy it too. Do you like the idea that, I mean, not the idea, do you like this, the weather has gone extremely cold? How many of you love cold weather in Melbourne? Cold weather, but this is too cold, isn't it? This is like freezing cold. There was a lady walking outside on the pavement and she goes, the weather is really cold, you know, freezing cold. And then I said, you might want to change the direction. You know, you're walking opposite to the wind. What do you mean? Don't you want me to go home? So, it was freezing cold today, and it is. Do you know it has snowed in some parts of Melbourne, particularly Daylesford. Daylesford is a good location if you want to go for a winter day out or something like this. It's a beautiful area, Daylesford. So you'll see some snow there as well. Okay, yeah, so let's come to the point here. Now, if I write a sentence, I want you guys to tell me what is the answer in this particular blank. So let me write this. Let me ask this to आपका नाम भूल गया मैं दोबारा. Jasdeep. Jasdeep ने tension में क्यों लग रहे हो? क्या बात है? You're not well? Why? Because of the grammar?
No, because of that.
Oh, because of the weather. Oh, I had grammar. Okay, Jasdeep, since you're not well, this question is for you. Okay. Okay. Jasdeep, can you, whatever you think should be the answer here, बताओ मुझे in easier ways. So there are two clauses here I've used. My PT scores in hand. In hand is a collocation. In hand means something is in hand means you already own it. You already have it. Yeah. So something is in hand or something like this. So Jasdeep, tell me what is the answer here? Dash my PT scores in hand. I can easily apply for permanent residency. Jasdeep will answer. Everybody will stay quiet. Even if you know the answer, I'll give you a turn. Huh? If my PT scores in hand. If my PT scores in hand, I can easily. How can I say something like this, Jasdeep? If I singer, can I say if I singer? Don't you think I need a verb here? Can I say? You tell me. Can I say if I singer? Forget about that sentence, Jasdeep. तुम बताओ मुझे. Can I say if I singer? If I was a singer, or if I were a singer, if I am a singer, I need an auxiliary. Yeah. So can I say if my PT scores in hand, it should have been if my PT scores are in my hand. See my point? You can't use if here. If it's not a conditional statement, can't use if here. Can I say if he well? If he well, does it make sense? If he well, there should be some verb. If he plays well, if he studies well, if he acts well, some sort of verb. So यहाँ पे तो verb ही नहीं है. My scores in hand. There's no verb. You can't put if here because if के लिए verb must. We need a verb here. If I clean the table, I can't say if I table. Doesn't make sense. If my PT scores are in my are is my verb here, but you can't use if here. If, or you can say if I have my PT scores in hand, yeah. But that's not the answer here. So you already know it. If can't be the answer because we need a verb here. So if cannot be the answer. Answer is something else. And let me give you one more clue. The answer is a preposition. You want to try? I forgot your name. Sorry. Harpreet, बताओ मुझे what is the answer? I have my PT scores in hand. I can easily apply for. I said one word. I have. Just one word. Okay, let me make it very easy for you so that you don't get more. So you'll be like, sir, answer batao jaldi jaldi. So let me make it more easy for you. How about this? Yeah, how about this? Tell me. Forget about sentence number 1 and tell me what would you put in sentence number 2. Read it and think and tell me.
One word.
Yeah, it's one word. I don't believe this. Trust me. This is one of the easiest. Unless my PT scores are in my hand. Until my PT scores are in my hand. Unless I come to classes. I can't say unless I classes. Unless I need a verb. Let me give you the answer. The answer is very simple here, guys. The answer is what is the answer here? उधर ना देखो तो आएंगे जाएंगे. Look at me. आने वाले को कौन रोक सकता है? जाने वाले को कौन रोक सकता है? जाना ही. Look at me. Tell me here. I can easily apply for PR with my PT scores in hand. How easy is this? Now, do you know that's what my grammar rule was today? That there are sentences that begin with the preposition as with. How can you change the angle? Angle change करके बोलो. With my PT scores in hand, I can easily apply for PR. How easy is this? Yeah. So something like this. With the ever increasing demand for students, Australia is going to be a popular destination. Now, okay, Australia is going to be a popular destination with the ever increasing demand for students. Just an example. You know that it's not true. Yeah. It could be true. How do you know this? So something like this. So with good cooking skills, yeah, Akshay can impress his wife. Are you single or double? Are you single or married? Double. Are you single or married? Single. Yeah. So something like with PR in his hand, PR ko maro goli. With free public transport, government can attract more people in trams or something like this. So, for example, Jaideep, yeah. So Jaideep will say, with Australian citizenship in my hand, I can easily get married back home. Yeah, because the parents are smarter nowadays. Yeah? So something like this. So how easy is this? With advanced writing structures, so you can say anything. With advanced writing structures, essays have become easier than ever before. How easy is this? With a blue coat, with a blue warm coat, I can keep myself warm. Now, bolke, change the angle. I can keep myself warm with the blue warm coat. So you can start a sentence with these are called advanced structures. They start with preposition with, and then clause 1 and then clause 2. And do you know what is clause 1 and what is clause 2? Clause 1 is the cause and clause 2 is the effect. So with is always used with two statements when both of them are in a cause and effect relationship. Is it clear? So this is something, this is cause. Let me put it here. And this one is effect. So never ever get it wrong. The cause and effect. Now how about this? Now so this is something that actually brought me to this particular rule, and you will love this too, guys, trust me. Let me put it here, and I'll say something like this. Tell me, guys. Tell me, what would you put here? Let's make it number 5 here. And tell me, what would you put here now? Huh? As my as my PT scores vary, I will take teacher's help. Now, as is something that you use it as a cause and effect statement. I understand this thing, that as is always used as a cause and effect. Just say, for example, मैं बोलूँगा as it is dark outside, we need to turn the lights it has the same meaning as since it's dark outside or because it is dark outside. Yeah, so looks okay. But this statement, question number 5, this statement is not a cause and effect statement anymore. So you can't use as, you can't use because, you can't use since.
If my
Despite के लिए मैंने एक rule किया था. You can never use despite here. Now he has asked a good question here. I forgot your name. Sorry. Keshav has asked a very good question. Why can't you use despite here? Some of our students at Emdad's PT will answer this question. Why can't we use despite here? Tell me. Despite never comes without. To put off with despite is guna, haram and illegal. You can never put off with despite. Is it clear? Despite never comes with off. But despite comes with something. Who can tell me? मैंने किया था ये rule. I explained this, all difference between all the however and despite. Despite, remember this, guys. Nobody? Despite? Contradiction. Of course, it comes as a contradiction. Yeah. There's no contrast here. But rule is despite always comes with ing. Always. Despite playing hard. Despite getting selected. Despite raining outside. Despite drinking water. Despite getting the scores. Despite coming to the classes. Despite coming to Australia. Despite being a teacher. Despite watching Kapil Sharma show, the Kapil Sharma show, I didn't get entertained. You know that nowadays it's not the same as it used to be. The Kapil Sharma show, you know that, yeah. So they're trying hard. At least he's trying, you know. But it's not the same the way it was before. Pakistani drama, Pakistan mein bhi Kapil Sharma show. Oh, Pakistani dramas. Okay, all right. Okay, because I can't understand Punjabi. You know, they're mostly in Punjabi, typical Punjabi, isn't it? Sorry about that. Okay, so despite always comes with verb plus ing. Now tell me here, you can't use despite here. The answer is very simple. अगर मेरा स्कोर वेरी करता है तो मैं क्या करूंगा? मैं टीचर की हेल्प लूंगा. Sorry to use a little Hindi here. Now tell me the answer, Khudara. What is the answer? If the answer is, if my PT scores vary, I will take the teacher's help. But the answer is not if, the answer is this. That's what I wanted to teach you here, guys. This is the advanced structure that normally natives use as a replacement for if. You knew it? Yeah, she knew it, but you know. So this is something, guys, I want everybody to know, that if and should are replaceable and should are interchangeable, and should is more advanced. Should is used by natives. Haven't you heard of something like more in a formal way? Of course, if is not wrong here. If you put if my PT scores vary, it's 100% right, grammatically right. But should also does the same job here, and that's what you need to learn. Because what would happen in your reading blank sometimes, they won't give you if as the option anymore. They will give you should, and then you'll be in the trouble. Oh, should cannot be the answer. Haven't you heard of something like this in your email? Dash you have any further inquiries? Call the customer. Should you have any further inquiries? Call the customer care. Should you have any further inquiries is the same as if you have any further inquiries. Can you write the same sentence exactly as it is on your notebook? And by putting should and if together, should and if is interchangeable. So two words we learned here, we can start a sentence with, and we can also start with should. Yeah, both of them. Guys, the next grammar rule that I'm going to talk about today, you will definitely enjoy it. And trust me, this is a common desi. This grammar rule that I'm going to talk about now is a common desi mistake. Common desi mistake. You'll see a lot of people making this mistake, but I want you guys to correct it for once for and all. And this is something I want you to learn. Now, for example, Suraj, yeah? Suraj, you're single, yeah? We can use your example. So it's all right, yeah. So Suraj के example यहाँ पे use करते हैं. Suppose for example, Suraj, let's suppose somebody calls you at your home. Remember our days when we used to have landline? Now we don't have landline anymore. I enjoyed those days. Trust me. When at least with those landline, we remembered the numbers properly. You know, My friend's number, I still have my friend, a couple of my friends, their phone numbers, landline numbers, they're still in my head, including my own phone number. So you used to have that, those beautiful days, you used to take the receiver and then, go to your room, lock it, and then talk to whoever you wanted to at that point in time. So something like this. So if suppose, Suraj, you're at home and somebody calls you and you're not there, and your mom picks the phone, and then there's a voice, and the voice says, Auntie ji, Suraj hai. So Auntie ji goes, oh, who is this? So Auntie ji will drop the call. She says she's not here or something like this. And Suraj, and you understood the context. You're not there. You're somewhere. But Auntie ji gives her response in English. And Auntie ji uses a sentence that I'm going to use here. And you tell me what is the mistake here. Suraj, although nothing against Auntie ji. We love Auntie ji. But you just tell me what is the mistake here. Oh, let me actually make it more this question is for Suraj. Think and tell me what is the answer here. Everybody will stay quiet. Nobody talks. Suraj, tell me what is the answer here. Suraj is not here. He has been to Sydney or he has gone to Sydney. Huh? Both. Look at that. So there are certain grammar rules which are actually interchangeable, but not this one. See my point? You can't use both there. Pallavi disagrees. Pallavi, what is the answer here then? He has gone to. How many of you agree with Pallavi? He has gone to. Really? Dimag theek hai, kya keh rahe? He has gone to? What is the difference between he has been to or he has gone to? Atul, batao mujhe. तुम जितना जोर जोर से कह रहे हो, बताओ मुझे, what is the difference? When we are not coming back. Walaikum assalam. Walaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum. We are going for a temporary basis. इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड डेफिनेशन है, मुझे मेरा ग्रामर खराब कर दोगे, मुझे खुद समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या कह रहे हो, बताओ मुझे. He has been because he's still there. Yeah, see, look at that. This is what I was waiting for, actually. Trust me, guys. This is something you want to learn, guys, here today. Atul knew the answer, but he just couldn't explain it. Because, don't explain anything to anyone in life. It's right. So this is very important, guys. You will learn this. Whenever you use has been, if I use, for example, Deep, where are you? You're in class. Of course you're in class. You're in Australia, yeah? So Deep is in Australia, yeah? So if Deep is in Australia, and if I say, can I say Deep has gone to India? If I say Deep has gone to India, that means he's not physically present here in Australia. He is still in India. Then I'll say gone. Then I'll use the word gone. He's not physically here. But if I say, Deep, guys, do you know? Deep has been to Iceland. Do you know what it means? It means, okay, exactly. Okay, Anna. It means that he's not in Iceland anymore. He has visited Iceland, but he's now back in Australia. Is it clear? Has gone, physically not present. Has been physically present, back. He's back. Is it clear? He's been to that place, now he's back. Something like this. There's a massive, that's why I gave you the context behind this of Suraj. Now, Suraj's mom in this case is telling her that Suraj is in Australia. He's not in Nepal. You're from Nepal, yeah? So he's not in Nepal, he's in Australia. Yeah? So how would I put here? What would be the answer here? Batao? Suraj is not here, he has gone to Sydney. Is it clear? Have you ever been to Sydney? Have you ever been to Sydney means, have you ever gone to Sydney and are you back? Is it clear? So have you ever been to Sydney? Yes, I've been to Sydney a couple of times. That means you're not in Sydney, you are in Australia, you're in Melbourne or here in Footscray or something like this. How easy is it? So this is a massive difference between has gone and Has been. Can you write it in your own ways, the way you understood it? Everyone, I'll give you some time to write it down. So I'll give you roughly around 10, 11 seconds to write it down. Write the example and also write the rules. So everyone do it. Well, actually, can you write these two explanations rather than writing it in your own way so that you understand it? How easy is this? Right, both of them, everyone. Link? Yeah. There's a link. Emdad's grammar. Emdad's grammar. bit.ly. Emdad's grammar. Okay, guys. Now, yeah. Did you copy it, everyone? Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, guys. Now I'm going to write a sentence here. Now tell me. I just want you guys to fill in the blanks here. This is no picking a mistake here. Just want you guys to look at this sentence and tell me what is the answer here. Demand of, or demand for, or demand from, or demand to. Oh, sorry, I made you more confused. How many of you think the answer is demand for, pehle to, first of all? Demand for. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. How many of you think it is demand of? What about the rest? What about those people who are actually? How many of you thinking that what should I think? Both? See, there are certain Pallavi, there are certain grammar rules that are interchangeable, but not in this case. You can't have both. The answer is very simple, guys. That whenever you see this word demand, yeah, demand. This is PT. Article the demand PT demand of or demand for. Tell me. The answer is for. Always, never ever make a mistake here. The demand for something. So let's write it this way: demand for something. Never use of with this one. So the demand of these books na bolke demand for. Yeah. Say 10 times, guys. Demand for. Bolo this side. Demand for. There is no cure dash AIDS. Tell me, what is the answer? There is no cure of. Nah, there is no cure for. There is no cure into is wrong. So some people might have thought the answer is into. Same rule. Cure for. Write it, guys, 3 times and say it with me 5 times. Cure for. cure for illness, cure for this particular illness, cure for cancer or something like this, or HIV. So cure for, demand for, cure for, demand for. So never use of with these. Last one, and then we'll be done with this. Reason. Tell me what is it? Reason of or reason for? Reason. How many of you think it's reason for? Don't you ever say reason of pollution? How do you say it? Are you sure? Oh, he looks sure and he's angry too. So the answer is reason for. Yeah. So reason for, reason. Write it 3 times and say it with me 5 times. So these 3 words. So cure for. So let's start with the first one. Demand for, cure for, reason for. Demand for, cure for, reason for. Demand for, cure for, reason for. Can you write all the 3, please? Yeah, of course. That too. So last question, and then we'll be done with this one. Yeah. So if I don't say the reason, if I say reason of pollution, it will be 100% wrong. It should be reason for pollution. How about if I change reason to cause? What is the answer? Yasin bhai? Cause. The cause dash pollution. The cause for pollution or the cause of pollution? The cause. This time it will be of. So cause of, reason for. Is it clear, guys? Write it, guys. Everyone. Cause of, reason for. Thank you so much. Guys, this is it for today's grammar. For those people who have joined us online, thank you so much for being with us. And yes, sir. And other branches, you'll get a new link and you will immediately connect once you see that in the team. Thank you so much. We finish with this grammar, everyone. Thanks.